It's a real blessing to be with you here on the Word of Encouragement on this Tuesday. Trust the Lord is working in your heart. And today we're looking at Luke chapter 20. Here the Lord Jesus is being confronted by the scribes and the Pharisees, and he comes back and asks them a question by quoting Psalm 2. And this psalm, of course, is a great psalm in regard to the sovereignty of our God and the fact He's in control, He knows the end from the beginning, and that He has made the center focus of man's history the Lord Jesus Christ. And so the Lord Jesus Himself, when He is asked a question, and then He answers it well, and they were afraid to ask Him anymore, He asked this, He said, "How say they that Christ, or the Messiah, is David's son?" And then he quotes verse 42, "And David himself saith in the book of Psalms, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool. David therefore calleth him Lord. How is he then his son?" And of course, they couldn't answer that question, not being willing to believe that Jesus Christ was indeed the Son of God, and that's what was being talked about. But I wanted to pull out verse 43, "Till I make thine enemies thy footstool." I'm always encouraged when I read Psalm 2 or read this passage, when I realize that all the enemies of the Lord are as a footstool to the one who sits upon the throne, and all are under His control. Now, He allows Satan to work, and He allows the will of man to be there, but God is the God of eternity. And God is able to take all of these different circumstances, and He puts up kings and He pulls them down. In my lifetime, I've seen people that look like they were going to have all the power in the world and then be brought down. And so until it's the time for the Antichrist to come, the enemies of Christ cannot ultimately prevail. And even the Antichrist will only for a short while prevail, and of course, he will eventually be thrown into the lake of fire. And so I've encouraged us with this thought over and over here on this time together, and that is that what seems to be so intimidating, what seems to be so horrific, what seems to be so strong and impregnable is not to God. He looks from above. The earth is but His footstool. The enemies of God are easily put aside. And God allows mankind to go, and He gives us the integrity of our will. But in the midst of all of that, He causes His will to be accomplished. And so, my friend, if we'll believe God and stay focused on the things that God is focused on, we can be guaranteed that God is in control of what's going on around us. Who would have thought that we would have some of the blessing we have in our country right now? Who would have thought that we would be protected as we are right now? That is just a miracle. That's an answer to prayer. That will eventually fade away, and that's why we need to take a hold of the opportunity to serve the Lord. So friends, stay encouraged. God's sitting on His throne. The earth is really nothing when you think about it. And let's put our faith in Him, and we will stay encouraged.